Andre Berto is fighting Robert Guerrero in what many are calling not the toughest fight of his career, but it's no slouch. Robert Guerrero, a southpaw, similar to when he lost to Victor Ortiz. Ortiz was a southpaw. Now, the road for Andre Berto, he won 27 consecutive fights. He lost to Victor Ortiz in a unanimous decision in 12 rounds. What was an awesome fight, to say the least. If you haven't seen it, I'll throw a link in the description below. He defended his WBC title 5 times, and then, of course, he lost to Ortiz. And what happened after that was he tore his bicep muscle, so the rematch was put off. And then he tests positive. He has a positive drug test, so then the rematch is just totally squandered. And then that's when Josecito Lopez came in to fight and beat Victor Ortiz. Now, what do you expect from Andre Berto, who's been away from the ring for about 15 months? His last win was against Jan Zevic, I believe, Dejan Zevic, in September. He won the IBF title somehow. But what do you think he'll bring to the table in his return?
I think Berto will bring to the table what he always brings to the table, which is a lot of energy, fires a lot of punches, catches a lot of punches. He's an exciting fighter. He's strong, but he is somebody who hasn't really grown much over the years. Other people have spoken about that as well. He doesn't seem to have really developed as a fighter as the years have progressed. Again, what he does extremely well, and Berto fights are always exciting because, again, he's going to get hit, he's going to hit back, and he's going to go down, and often his opponents go down as well. But I think that's what we can expect. He's in with a tough opponent. Guerrero is probably more disciplined than certainly Ortiz, and probably more disciplined than Berto himself, so it ought to be an interesting fight.
Andre Berto, familiar with the power, 28-1, 22 knockouts. But as you said, he is fighting a very competent opponent, a guy that likes to keep his distance. He's a pure boxer, and it's questionable if he has the chin that could keep up with Berto. Now, when you look back on Robert Guerrero, he's had those fights where, you know what, he beat up on Aydin, I believe his name is pronounced. I remember the fight. The guy was squandering him, and he was on top of him throughout, but he just put up his defense, and he just kept coming forward and coming forward. What can Guerrero expect differently from Aydin in Berto?
Well, I think Berto is certainly going to approach from different angles. He's certainly a cleverer fighter than Aydin. He has more punches available to him in his arsenal. Aydin was a bit one-dimensional and tough, and he certainly pressed Guerrero. But I don't think that Aydin was really as good of a boxer puncher as Berto is. So I think Guerrero's going to have his hands full, but I don't think it's going to be too full for him to adapt to whatever it is that Berto is presenting and to sort of emerge victorious in the end.
Guerrero 31-1 with 18 knockouts. He has 14 straight wins. He is the interim WBC welterweight title holder. You know, on the other side of the coin for Andre Berto, as I stated previously, he lost to Victor Ortiz, who is a southpaw. But these guys are very different. How so are they different, Robert?
Well, you're talking about Berto and Guerrero, basically.
No. Guerrero and Victor Ortiz, both being southpaws.
Basically Ortiz, Guerrero has his head screwed on straight, whereas with Ortiz, one never really knows what one is going to get. He's an interesting fighter. He's sort of a compelling fighter, but he tends to melt down during fights. We've seen that time and again. And I'm not even talking about having his jaw broken in 3 places in his last fight. We can look at the Mayweather fight. Ortiz tends to lose his cool. Never a good thing in the ring, never a good thing under fire. Whereas Guerrero never loses his cool. Guerrero is a very composed character, so composed that it's always surprising how well he performs under pressure in the ring. But he's incredibly composed, very disciplined, and I think the challenge for Berto is going to be to get through that discipline, if he possibly can, and try to put hurt on Guerrero so that he gets him off of his game plan. But it's not going to be easy. Guerrero is really, again, he has his head screwed on straight.
Drug testing is mandatory for this fight. For Robert Guerrero, this is only his second fight at 147 pounds. I didn't even get to ask you, what did you think about his first fight at 147 against Aydin?
I thought it was an exciting fight. I was really impressed by Guerrero. I was impressed by his toughness. Everybody knows that he's a boxer, and he's a wonderful boxer and an exemplary boxer, but he was really willing to get in there and mix it up as well. I was extremely impressed by how tough he was, and that was his first fight at welterweight, so I was all the more impressed by his performance.
HBO, 10 Eastern Time on Saturday in Ontario, California. So let me ask you, Robert, who do you have in this fight? Do you have the man from Miami, the Haitian, Andre Berto, or do you have Robert Guerrero?
I think this is sort of a toss-up, but I am leaning toward Guerrero. I'm going in favor of discipline rather than sort of raw potential.
And how do you have it? Do you have it split decision, unanimous decision, or knockout?
I could see it being a split decision, frankly.
Okay. For me personally, I just think that because Guerrero, he did not, you know what, the judges gave him the points, and they gave him, they basically favored him round by round. I thought that he looked somewhat uncomfortable against Aydin, getting backed up routinely. Can he keep his distance? Sure. But I think over the course of the fight, I honestly think Andre Berto will close the gap little by little by little. I think he'll knock him out in one of the later rounds, maybe the 10th or 11th round, possibly the 12th. I would say at least the 10th. I just think that Berto has the power, he has the skill, he's very hungry, has a lot to prove. And again, in that fight against Aydin, Guerrero did not look comfortable to me. He looked timid, backing up routinely. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. If you want to bet $5,000, that's fine. But either way, Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of Boxing.com. You could follow him on Twitter at boxing_com and follow his fantastic writing at www.boxing.com. Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome, Rick.
It's a video of someone getting hit in the face, which is great for YouTube airwaves. Let's see it. Okay, you saw it? Yeah.